Welcome to the official catch-up. Today I've got Craig Reid, chairman of Hillfield Swifts on. How are you doing, Craig?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Chris. You?
Yeah, getting there, mate. It's a bit later in the day now, so another day done and dusted. I just heard the news, obviously, another 3 weeks this, unfortunately.
I don't know how I'm going to manage another 3 weeks of drinking beer. I've just opened my first, so it's actually taken me to 6:30 to have my first beer tonight. I'm usually cracked into them long before now, but 6:30 is a record for me, I think.
And we're joined by Vice Chairman Barry Tillier. How are you doing, Barry?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good, and we've basically got you on the decks. We're trying to reach out. We've got, I think, the majority of Lowland League have been on now. We've kind of represented them well, but certainly East of Scotland have got involved. We had guys like Callum Elliott from the league that you are in, obviously at Tynecastle, and Hillfield Swifts. Like, obviously, I think it's well known I'm based in Fife and that, and I've been very impressed with you guys this season. What's the feeling been, obviously, before all this? Has it been, a good day?
It's definitely been a. How could you put it this season? It's been a bit of a roller coaster, and it's sometimes like you just got to hold on. You don't know what's going to happen week after week. So, as much as we are trying to do well on the football pitch, we're also trying to make sure that we maintain our performance off the football pitch as well, with regards to the club, because we're obviously a bigger club than just a seniors team.
Yeah.
With 350, 400 kids, boys, girls, under 20s, under 16s, all the way down into under 2015s. There's a lot goes on, and myself and Barry, we kind of oversee the whole club. It's not just a seniors team that we oversee. So it's been a really good season, in so much as on the field, the players, the management team, the staff that kind of help make sure everything happens on a match day. They've been absolutely fantastic, and it's testament to the team at the end of the day that how well they've done this season, because I do think they've probably shot past my expectations, and probably Barry's to a certain extent. If you were to listen to Grant, the manager, he would probably tell you he expected to be where he is. However, we're quite happy just making sure that there's a good structure there, and there's an opportunity for kids at the club to develop and go through the pathway.
Yeah, I mean, obviously after last season, we were thrown into the Lions Den a little bit where Irlinith goes, and we played Bonnyrigg at the start of that season as well. It was a harsh learning curve for the boys that were playing then, but to come from where they have been there to where we are now, nobody's seen that really. Well, as Craig said, maybe Grant did, but for us, like myself and Craig, played junior, and we played your teams like St Andrews and Glenouth this season, that when we played, and to see like Hillfield Swifts into their second season, beating the likes of Glenouth twice this season, it's been it's unbelievable, for us.
I believe, I don't know if you are regarded as the youngest senior team in the game. I know a few teams, like maybe the Cali Braves, because they rebranded, they sort of see themselves as the youngest senior team, but as far as I'm aware, I take it you are the youngest, having came in 2018?
Yeah, well, it's only really our second season. I mean, as a club, the club has been going a long time, Chris. It's been going on 25 years now. The club was originally founded by Eddie Spence, who's still involved in the club with under 20s. But we've been going that long. I think over the years there have been the odd amateur team now and again. But a couple of years ago, when myself and Barry, Eddie took a back seat to an extent, just due to a couple of wee health issues and the amount of time he was involved in the club. So myself and Barry kind of stepped in, and one of the first things we spoke about was making sure we had something at the top of the table, not table as such, but something at the top of the club for kids to kind of focus on the real pinnacle, because our kids were getting to 16s, 17s, and they were getting picked off, and the good players were then just going to other clubs. And so when we sat down maybe 2-3 seasons ago and we had a think about it, we initially thought amateur. And then through a few more discussions with the manager that was in at the time, a boy called Lee Richardson, we ended up having some good conversations about potentially going junior, and then it was a case of, well, why bother going junior? Why do we not just go senior in the East of Scotland League? And to be honest with you, it wasn't really a league at that moment in time that I knew much about. I don't know about you, Barry, but I mean, we're ex-juniors, so it was through a few discussions that eventually we ended up, exploring the East of Scotland route. And to be honest with you, a couple of the main reasons we went down the East of Scotland route was one, obviously Celtic Hearts had, I think they maybe just had their first or their second season, maybe it was their first season, and won the league. And the entry levels to the East of Scotland and the committees within the East of Scotland and the people that were discussing things within the East of Scotland were very welcoming. You know, they assisted us in actually getting into the league. They knew what we were trying to achieve, and couldn't be any more helpful, if I'm honest with you. So kind of stumbled into the East of Scotland, and then, you know, as being the youngest team, I would say we can't be far off it. You know, we've only, this is only 1.5 seasons, and you know, unfortunately, we're not going to get to be able to play out this season. But 1.5 seasons in, we always knew we could do it. We always knew we had a great team in the background. We always knew that it was going to take a wee bit of time to develop things on the pitch. But I would say that we're probably ahead of schedule in that sense. And I definitely say we're the youngest. But I don't know about Catlett Braves.
Well, they claimed it was our first. I hate to pick on them because of the rebrand, but they said it was our first Scottish Cup this season. But we know that's false. They've been in the Scottish Cup. Now I like winding them guys up, but no, certainly when I grew up in Fife. I went to Inverkeithing High School, so Inverkeithing is kind of special place for me. Obviously, I had a lot of time spent there, a lot of birds in it and whatnot. So when I was that age, I kind of was aware of Inverkeithing Hillfield Swifts, but I think the big names obviously were like say your Kelties, your Hill of Beefs, your Recife Rec on a probably lower level, but it's great what you guys have done over the years with Hillfield.
I think the thing is, Chris, is that the Swifts kind of philosophy to a certain extent is because we're so close to Edinburgh and because we're also in Fife. You know, when we're developing our age groups, we try to put half the kids to Edinburgh and half the kids to Fife. Mm-hmm. Edinburgh, when the kids are coming through, you know, the younger age groups heading through under 8s, 9s, 10s, all the way up, it's a cracking level of football. There's just more teams. There's just more. There's bigger and better players over in Edinburgh, just purely because of population. You know, you're going to come up against more better players, and it's quite easy to get to from Inverkeithing. So we always do that, and that's why sometimes, you know, we might have a whole age group that don't even play their football in Fife. They play their football over in Edinburgh, so they didn't really get exposed to the Fife scene as much. You know, in days gone by, they might not necessarily play a Blue Bazil, or like the team that Marcel and Barry take this season are under 16s. Been in Edinburgh for the last 4 seasons. You know, we don't play Fife teams, so we don't get a chance to play Blue Bazils, or we don't get a chance to play Celtic Hearts or Glenorths or anybody like that because we're over in Edinburgh playing Hutchies and Tynecastles and Leiths. So that's maybe one of the reasons why it was we didn't see much Inverkeithing Hillfield Swifts, but definitely going a long time.
Yeah.
I think just to add to that as well is, although we're obviously ecstatic about where we are in the league at the moment, one of the big wins for us this season has been we've promoted 2 boys from under 20s into the first team squad permanently. You know, one of them was 16 when he made his debut for the top team. They're both 17, pushing 18 now, but both of them done really well in the 20s, which has kind of had a knock-on effect that you know, there's been good players at under 20s actually champing the door for Greg and Eddie because they see that they've got a chance of getting a shot in the first team, whether it be friendlies or playing maybe one of the weaker teams in the league, and they'll always get that chance, and I think that's been quite successful for us, and that's why predominantly we started this path in the first place, was to, as Craig said before, make sure that the boys that grew up in the club, whether they were 9-year-old or whatever, and have come right through, they didn't get to that ceiling and then they're going to Aberystwyth or Crossgates as what it was before. So that's a big win for us. Yeah,
and I've not really been down to Inverkeithing recently, guys, but what's the sort of development like at Ballast Park? Is it, you know, from what I remember, obviously I think they used to have like sort of fairs and whatnot down there. Is it still kind of quite open, and are you just kind of put a structure there when you've got games?
It's still quite open. It's I mean, don't get me wrong, over the last 2 seasons, Barry and our groundsman Wally and a handful of other people have put a lot of time into making sure the playing surface is improved, and it's a cracking surface, to be honest with you. Holds the water really well, so you know it's hardly ever off. You do have to put up with the wind sometimes, wailing in off the sea, because we're right down next to the Forth. But generally speaking, on a lovely day, you couldn't get a better place to play football. On a cold day, you would rather be sitting in your house sometimes, I think. But it's a good facility. We've got plans. We're working quite well with the local community council, a couple of other groups, to just try and basically develop the place a little bit further. We're wanting to try and put in some kind of shelter, etc., down the sides for the spectators. We realise that we've got spectators coming from all over the east of Scotland now, and to turn up and not have any shelters probably not a great day out for them at the end of the day. So we're working on that, and that's kind of something we're hoping to put in maybe place in the next 6 months, based on a couple of discussions we're having with the community councils and people like that. But it's bit by bit. Some of the cracking clubs out there, whether you take a Hullabeath or you take a Linlithgow Rose or any team, they've been going a long time. It takes a long time to get to where they're at. And just for us to be even competing on the pitches with some of the teams that we've been competing with this year is great, but we've still got a long, long way to go. And it's about kind of keeping our feet on the ground, but plodding away every season, doing a bit. You ask Big Davy Bailey up at Hullabeath how many hours he's probably stuck in to keeping painting fences and cutting pitches and all that kind of stuff. He'd be a millionaire if he was paid for it. But we do it because we love it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. In terms of your mentality, obviously, do you sort of see yourselves as underdogs a wee bit in terms of the league and everything you've achieved so far, or do you just sort of take it in your stride?
Take it in our stride. I wouldn't say. The good thing is we've got a good young squad. We've got a cracking manager there who does a great job, who has got a lot of experience. Grant, myself, Barry, and I, we've known each other for years, even for playing days when we were younger. So we've got a really good network, kind of coaching players. So I didn't see us being scared of playing anybody at the end of the day, and that's just the way we were probably were as players as well. Whether or not you were playing with a team and you were coming up against a top team, it's a one-game scenario. So anything can happen in one game. I think who did we play earlier on in the season? But it was a very tight game.
We played 2 of the cup games. We played Musselburgh, one of them, and they beat us 4-1, I think it was. But the boys, they done really well on the day. And to be fair, Musselburgh were the better team, deserved the win. But then we played Bo'ness in another cup. Again, we lost 2-1, but the last 15 minutes we were on top, and a couple of the supporters had said to me at the end that if we had scored, there was only one winner. So, and they're obviously looks like they're going to win the Premier League, with possibly getting promoted to Lowland League. So even just to compete against a team like that, who I've no doubt have spent money. We haven't spent transfer fees on any players this season. It's been a case of maybe loans and boys that have come in for amateurs and stuff like that have just taken to the club and just really done it on the pitch.
I think one thing to mention is because the club's been going for so long, when we started last season, one of the first things that we did is, as soon as people knew the Swiss were starting up an East of Scotland team, I'm not kidding, we had people chapping the door wanting to come and play for the club, which was great. Ex-Swifts, people that have got an affinity because they played maybe 10 years with the club as a youngster before they moved on. So there's loads and loads and loads of ex-Swifts players out there. We're kind of counting down a couple of seasons until we maybe get some of the older ones back that maybe are playing seniors and stuff like that now. We've got Greg Spence that was at the club for a long time. Boys like Kyle Marley, Josh Morrissey's. There's loads of boys out there that eventually might come back to the club. And as Barry says, we didn't pay for players, but we like to make sure we treat them well. We like to make sure they understand that they're in it because they can compete. And it's about the environment that they're in. It's wanting to play for a club, I think, is important. And that's one of the things we were quite keen on and pretty firm on when we started, is about we're wanting boys at the club that want to play for the club.
Absolutely. I think, as I said, I'm not just saying it to you guys, I say that a lot. I agree that you guys have done a fantastic job, obviously. What are your thoughts, obviously? I mean, I noticed East of Scotland have sort of announced postponement, if you will, of a lot of the cup competitions. Is there any word on what will happen with like you guys in the sort of promotion place, if you will? Or have you heard anything back from East of Scotland?
Well, we know at the moment is a board meeting tonight, which I think, I believe that the relegation promotion kind of stuff wasn't going to be discussed. Okay. But after the Lowland League came out and made their statement the other day with Kelty, think that's prompted them to have discussions tonight about it. But as far as I'm aware, there's an EGM scheduled for the 30th of April. Whether there's any decision made before then or not, I don't know. But there's obviously going to be a lot of new clubs coming in from the old East Region Juniors. So whether that's just the structure of the leagues for that, or whether it'll be discussed then, I'm not too sure. But we've certainly not been told anything about this is how the season's finishing. But obviously we would like to hope that, as much as that would be a huge challenge for us if we did get promoted, then obviously we wouldn't reject that. We would want to see us, deservedly get to where we think we should be. And obviously Tynecastle are away; they're going to win the league. We don't win the league regardless. So it's going to be interesting to see how they work it out, because somebody's not going to be happy. But obviously we'd like to think we've put ourselves in one of the pole positions. So just have to wait and see.
Listen, what's for you won't go past you. At the end of the day, if we're involved in a shake-up and we go up, great. If we don't, then we'll be happy to play where we play next season. We're still relatively young in football terms, but still ambitious, just as ambitious as the next club.
Yeah.
And it'd be great. It'd be great for us as a club if we were to progress up a league. But don't get me wrong, there would be double as much hard work to stay there and maintain a position in that kind of league. So, listen, whatever happens, happens. We'll just focus on doing the right thing every day and every week and every month. And if we can do that, then whatever happens for you, happens for you. And I'm pretty sure if we do it, and we do it like we're doing it just now, along the road we'll get success.
Yeah, and you had, I believe you had one sort of local rivalry, if you will, against Glenrothes, or just one place behind you in the league. And I've spoke to a few of the boys that were at Glenrothes, obviously like Craig Richardson, the goalkeeper, and Kieran Macaulay, who was on loan there at Kelty Hearts. Is that the sort of games that you look forward to? Maybe up against likes of Hillabeef, Crossgates? Are they the games that you sort of look to?
Aye, I think, to be honest with you, when we play, I tend not to watch too much, because I just get the feeling as if when I watch, they didn't particularly play very well. So I go, or maybe it's just an excuse to go and have a beer instead of watch the football. So I kind of stay away. So I didn't watch much of the team, to be honest with you. But any game's a good game. And I mean, that's, we could still be stuck in a little bit of a honeymoon period to a certain extent, but definitely the local games have a little bit more spice about them, a little bit more an appetite for the supporters, definitely for the players' perspective. We've had quite a few local derbies this year. I think we've played Oakley at home, beat Glenrothes, beat Burn Shipyard. I can't think of anybody else, but Glenrothes. So we beat. Listen, it's not about beating people, but we've done well against all these kind of teams, and it's always good though to get a big name coming through. So the day that we played Bo'ness was a great day, and it was a really good football game. We're nothing to lose because we were underdogs that day, so we played really well. So anything local is good because the players know each other and the management know each other and the committee know each other, and just lets you meet up with old friends as well that you didn't necessarily see for a long time, which is always good.
Yeah, definitely, guys. And one thing I've probably I kind of ask the players this sometimes and ask the gaffers and stuff. But since you guys are obviously the top of your club, but what are you guys doing at the moment in terms of like I take it are you struggling a wee bit in terms of finance because folk are not coming to the games, or what's the sort of setup at Hillfield?
It's a funny one for us, because at the end of the day we didn't actually have much of an outgoings, if I'm honest with you, with regards to paying players.
Yeah.
We don't have players that are on weekly wages and that kind of stuff, or on contracts that mean they get a minimum wage. So it's just because that's the way we do it. So it doesn't really impact us as much, I appreciate the difficulties a lot of other clubs will be having out there with running finances and paying players and that kind of stuff, but it's not going to be easy. We will have lost. I was counting up the other day there. We still had a majority of home games to go.
Yeah,
and that to us could have been worth maybe the best part of about $5,000 worth of revenue over the course of the remainder of the season, at a minimum, I'll say, because we do get good attendance at our games, and we do sell some pies and some packets of crisps and stuff like that. So by the time you add that up and the amount of games that we had left and the fact that we were on a run-in where we were potentially challenging for a playoff spot, would have brought even more people down to watch the games. It's a bit of money lost from a revenue perspective for us, but we just need to dig deep like a lot of other clubs are doing, and try and prepare as much and balance the books as much as possible leading into next season.
Yeah. I touched on that, guys, because obviously I've seen I don't know if you guys have noticed, like the donate a ticket. Rafe Rovers are leading the top of the leaderboards in terms of donations, and then you've got like say Dundonald almost at £1,000, and then Glenrothes at £700. I don't know if it's sort of thing you guys would look into, but
we've discussed it, but obviously due to the circumstances with folks' employment statuses and things like that, they've halved the direct debit payments for everybody in the club right through, which goes right up to the 20s. So we just feel that us as a club then going to ask for donations, whilst it's good for some clubs, we just feel it's a bit kind of hard at this point in time to do that. As Craig said, we've not got a lot of outgoings at the moment. We have got outgoings obviously because there's things to pay for, like your usual stuff, and we've got a minibus and overheads and things like that, but we feel that we're in a position, luckily, that we can handle it. So, but as Craig says, I mean, that 6 home games he's talking about, that was a specific period left in the season to finish. There were 6 home games in a row, but we did have other home games as well. So, because we played most of our games away from home this year, away down to Coldstream and Hoyk and places like that. So, we're fortunate, but we did consider it, but we decided that for our club it was maybe best just to leave it.
Yeah,
it will have a big knock-on effect us, so because the revenue that we were probably expecting to bring in last third of the season would inevitably went towards new training kit, new strips, some of the fees towards pre-season friendlies, and it's not cheap to run a game of football in the east of Scotland when you're talking about getting linesmen, referees, pitch hires, and booking changing rooms and all these kind of bits and pieces. So you do need a bit of money behind you. And to be fair, we just bring in enough to see us week by week to a certain extent. And one of the key things that helps us do that is the fact that we don't have a massive weekly cost, if you know what I mean. It's just the way we manage it. And the way we'll continue to manage it for a long time yet. Our model is to have kids coming through, getting an opportunity to play, and having people at the club that want to be at the club. No, because they're getting £50, £100 a week or whatever like that, but because they want to be there because they feel as though they're part of Swifts and part of a community club, And if these players go on to better things, then great. And we'd like to think that we've got 2 or 3 more coming through at the back of them to try and fill some gaps.
Brilliant. Nah, that's fair. That's fair, guys. Completely fair. It was just, just one of the notes, I guess, because obviously, as I mentioned, there's a lot of Fife teams. I think Oakley United was in the list as well, and you obviously get your fan donations like Kelty and whatnot. So, it sounds brilliant what you guys are doing, and I really like what you said, Craig, about guys that just want to play for the badge. I think a lot of clubs can be a bit like that. I know Spartans are sort of similar to ethos, if you want to call it that. Playing for Spartans and everything that represents in terms of from youth to senior teams.
Yeah, no, definitely makes a difference. And to a certain extent, it's refreshing sometimes, and there's nothing more rewarding than seeing some of your boys that have come through your club getting a wee chance to play with the seniors. We've had quite a few of the 20s this year get either a shot on the bench or some minutes on the pitch, and it helps the course of the season as well. There's some clubs out there that don't necessarily have a 20s or a youth setup coming through behind them, so they've nobody to pull from when they're hitting that 26th of December. It was like last year, it was the 27th of December or something like that. We were away to play St Stirling Uni, and some of the seniors, I'll not mention any names on this wee podcast now, were obviously suffering for their Christmas turkey. But a couple of phone calls away were some of the 20s and some of the under 17s at the time, and we could have had probably another 20 boys there to fill the strips up and put them on the pitch, because sometimes it's the other team's just as much stricken as you are, and it's about putting a team on the pitch. And that day we had three 16-year-olds playing, and I think we beat Stirling Uni 3-2, and it was worth 3 points. So it was great, and it's having that resource within the club with different age groups and kids that if we were to go and phone them just now and say there's a game at 7:30, you'd have a handful of them there with their boots and their shin guards ready to play because they want to play.
That's
You know?
excellent, guys. That's
It's a
excellent.
big
And
difference.
obviously, I mentioned the fact that I went to Inverkeithing. Are you sort of, I take it you keep touch with some of the high schools of that in Fife?
We've got a cracking community tie-in with Inverkeithing High School. We work a lot with our community wing. We do a majority of training we do a lot of training at Ballybank during the summer, but over the winter months we kind of use the Astro at the high school, the five-a-side halls. So we work well with the community. We're part of the community group arrangements up there with other community groups, whether it be karate and music and that kind of stuff. So we do a lot with the guys up there. They're very good to us, to be fair. We use their facilities, we've got good goals and stuff up there, so it helps us a lot.
Brilliant to hear. And well, where do you see the future going, guys? Are you hoping to? Well, we obviously don't know what's going on with restructure and all that sort of stuff, but are you hoping to become a part of the East of Scotland Premier and stick to that, or just sort of, as I mentioned, take it in your stride?
Yeah, I think we've not set a ceiling for ourselves, but obviously we're kind of restricted in relation to club licensing and things like that. So yeah, I think going up to the Premier would be the ceiling for us at this moment in time. But certainly where we are now, we've exceeded where we expected to be, as Craig touched on before. And I think, even consolidation in that league would be unbelievable less. So when you look at like Crosgates there, went up in 5th place I think last season. They're outside of what the relegation zone would be this year. Even just to emulate that would be brilliant. But as Craig says, it's keep taking what we get, and we'll see what we get at the end of these meetings, and hopefully we can keep getting more and more people through the gates. It's a massive town, Inverkeithing. I was born and bred there myself, both primary and high school. I know the kind of guys that go about Inverkeithing, all ex-junior boys and boys that are at other clubs. We've got an over 35s team that's full of ex-juniors that are always talking about the club, and Craig Morrison that keeps saying he's got to come down and eat all the pies, but I think he's already done that for off his scooter the other day. But no, it was great at the meeting, and hopefully if we do go up, we can stay up.
Just to be fair to Craig Morrison there though, Barry, he does eat a lot of pies, but he's been putting the trainers on lately, and he's been doing a good bit of running. I know he fell off his scooter the other day there, but fair dues to him, he's trying to lose a bit of the beefy. So I just think that it's a great time for us as a club. I'm delighted to a certain extent. We've got Eddie, who started the club many years ago, and boys that were part of the first teams for many years ago, still part of the club, and they love it. I've been with the club, I don't know, maybe very near 10 years now, and it's great to see the guys that have been part of the club many years ago, older guys that have had their sons at the club when they were youngsters. It's a real community type feeling. It's great to see them coming into a game and enjoying a game with the Swifts, and either watching their boys playing or rekindling their affinity with the Swifts to a certain extent, because it's a cracking club for its players, cracking club for the coaches, cracking club for everybody that's involved in it. And I think that's just what we need to try and maintain over the next 2 to 3 seasons, is the community feel. As I said to you before, myself and Barry look after the whole club with the exec committee, with the wider committee, with the age group coaches, everybody that helps age groups coaches, and the club would be nowhere near as good as it is without all these guys putting in the endless hours, the conversations at 10 o'clock at night, the text messages, putting up with the parents sometimes, because the players are generally all right. It's the parents that sometimes can be a hard work. So without all these guys, supporting the foundations of the club, then it wouldn't be what it would be. And I know that the seniors are doing well, but it's only kind of on the back of the whole club and the foundation of the club being really strong. If the foundation of the club wasn't really strong, we didn't have people at all levels throughout the club doing a cracking job, it wouldn't really matter to us what the seniors were doing, because it wouldn't last for as long as we want it to last, because the foundations weren't right. So foundations are key.
But all I would say is, for the size of Inverkeithing that is, we'd love to see more folk down there, just supporting the guys on the Saturday afternoon when we're at home. There's plenty of space on the committee if anybody's interested in getting involved. We're always looking for folk to help behind the scenes. But as Craig says, the success of the top team, or say the first team, isn't down to just Grant or myself, Craig, or like that. It's the girls in the dugout, which is a wee lounge on a Saturday. It's Anna does the strips, Johnny's the kit man. All these people, as Craig said, they need all the credit as well. So it would be a massive achievement for them as well if we did get promoted. It would just bring that excitement up a wee bit again. Hopefully, a wee bit more interest, and the club can kind of kick on.
Aye, brilliant guys. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I always tend to say this after each pod, but since you're local to me, hopefully I'll get down to, well, Divot as I know it, obviously, but
you can come down and help us put the goals up. That'd be great.
Aye, I would. I'll wait and see what's happening next season, because I might be up at Kelly and whatnot. I'll have to wait and see. A bit unclear for myself what I'll be doing, but certainly if I'm free and you are either at home or I can get to an away game, I'll certainly come down and see you. I appreciate you guys coming on, and all the best for the future, and certainly I'll definitely be keeping more of an eye out for you guys and your results and whatnot. Cheers for all the hard work you do. I think you do a fantastic job, and as Barry mentioned, all the people behind the scenes, I think sometimes unsung heroes at this level in terms of football, but keep safe guys and all the best.
Perfect, Chris. Thank you very much.
Cheers.